What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to T3G. My name is Dalibor, and today we're going to go over all the LG Wing tips and tricks.
Whatever it is that you do the damn thing.
Now, since this was a recent question, I'm going to tackle this first. Somebody wanted to know if the external display feature, the secret feature tips and tricks that we did a while back, if it still works with the Android 12 update. And let's go ahead and connect. You see here that I've got nothing else going on, just the one cable here. We're going to plug it in here. We're going to go widescreen. I've got the trackpad pulled up already, and then we're going to connect to the USB port on this LePow monitor. There we go. It says connected to secondary screen, and there it is. And if we bring down the trackpad, where is it? There it is on the external screen. It's really tiny, so it's hard to follow. It's right here. But yeah, so it still works in Android 12. Awesome. Now, one of the tips and tricks we covered really early on was the third app drawer. Now, of course, you have your primary app drawer, which is you pull up from the main screen or you press the app drawer menu, depending on which home setup you have. You have the secondary app drawer, which is, of course, the second screen app drawer. But then you also have a third app drawer on the large screen when you are in the split screen mode. So this is basically a full list. I still haven't figured out a rhyme or reason to this, because it seems to add certain apps to certain screens, but they're all there. As opposed to the bottom one, which will limit which apps can be viewed on the bottom screen, as well as you have the option to tap second screen apps here from the menu, and then you'll be able to actually decide which apps you even want shown. I've limited that to about 7 apps total. I don't need 7-Eleven down there, you know what I'm saying? But this will give you a list. You toggle on anything you want, anything you don't want, you toggle off, and then that's what you end up getting in the menu when you pull up the app drawer on the second screen. And that's another tip that we covered in one of our shorts. Now, a fan favorite short that we did was the ability to open the screen while you're recording in another app. Now, let's say we're in Instagram. We go ahead and hit new. Let's go to a reel here. We're gonna hit record, right? And while it's recording, you can open up and do other things. Now, this will work as long as you're not in the default camera app, but in most apps, this will work. Anything that uses the camera will allow you to open up the screen and look at other things and pull up other media while you're recording. Now, another short that got a lot of traction is the ability to move apps between the two screens. So, for instance, if we have the YouTube app open, and we open up the screen and we want to do something on the bigger screen, but we still want to keep watching our video, we're going to just slide down and we're going to bring it down. Now, with the screen protector, I have found that it's hard to pull down, especially with my big old sausage fingers here. It's hard for me to pull down the notification shade from the bottom. But if you just go sideways, allow the gyro to switch everything, you have the option to do it from this direction. Now, as we are in the winter season, this is one that I always find very entertaining, because sometimes you just don't know what the weather's like outside because you haven't been out there all day, you're at work. So when I pick up my phone and I see snow animations, probably have a lot more work to do after work. Now, right now it is not snowing outside, so my lock screen looks absolutely normal. But to turn that on and off, you pull down or go to your settings through your apps. You go to lock screen and security. You go to customize lock screen, and you see the weather animation toggle. That will only show up if something's happening outside besides regular weather. Cloudy doesn't show up, sunny doesn't show up. It's just if there is precipitation. So rain, sleet, or snow, that's the only thing that's gonna show on the lock screen. And then one other short that we did was how to enable an actual app drawer. So when I pull up, I have my app drawer, right? But if you have a certain setup, you may not see the app drawer. So from the top shade, you pull down, you go to settings, then you go to display, you go to basic home, and then you're going to have an option called select home, and that's where you're going to be able to choose your basic home, your easy home if this is for someone that is using it that needs a little more of a simple layout, or the home with a separate app list. That is what's going to give you an actual app list. Now, to add to that, just to make sure that this isn't just repeat information for those who watched all the shorts, on the basic home screen you have some other options that you can do with your home screen setup. You have your screen swipe effect. Now, I only have the one screen, but it will show you what they are here, which is kind of nice. So you have the standard slide, you have the breeze, you have the panorama, and you have your carousel. You can choose your icon shape. I prefer the cylinder, but you also have your original, your rounded square, and your straight up round. You can decide if you want the Google feed on the left or not. You can decide if you want to loop your app list. So if you just have straight apps with no folders, you can have it where as you go to the next page of apps, and you get to the end, it'll actually go back to the beginning. You can actually choose what happens when you swipe down on the home screen. I prefer to pull down the notification shade so I don't have to go all the way to the top of the screen, but you can also have it do an integrated search. So it'll just search your apps and stuff like that. And of course, you can lock the home screen, which will prevent any changes or moving of icons. I move my icons way more often than I thought I ever would. Now, the one other tip slash more of a trick, really, that I want to share is not from me, now, but it is from my buddy Jason. He is known as the king of the wing, and he does stuff like this. Now, I've showed him off before. He is a wild man. That is just way too much bravery in one person. To do this, first of all, without a case. He is flipping this phone without a single case on there. He has a wrap on it, but that's it. The sheer level of fortitude that this man has to do this to his own phone. Like, it's not somebody else's phone. This is his phone that he flips around like it's nothing, like it's nobody's business. He also does these fun tricks with the camera where he'll actually use the gimbal features in the gimbal mode on the LG Wing to achieve some really cool flip maneuvers. Now, like I said, I've talked about him before and I've showed off some of these tricks before, so let's talk about something new. So most recently, Jason has actually decided to take things up another level to get closer to things, if you will. Here's a conversation I had with him last week.
Just a lamp that I have a Bluetooth thing to control it, so I could change.
Oh, that's the macro setup. That's the
that's the booth.
That's the booth. That is that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about. Like, what? So you have gone out of your way to make an entire lens system as an add-on to the Wing. Like, you love this product.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is kind of my way of saying, hey, y'all should have got this thing 2 years ago, because no case. I don't have a case on it. I've dropped it a few times.
You're a way braver man than me. I could never go without a case.
You know, the only scary part about having it with no case is when I'm doing the flips. I have to make sure my hands, this is the trick. The trick is to make sure my hands are super clean, no oils on it. And I got to make sure that the Wing is also at that, same status. And then
that makes sense.
And then I just hold my breath, hope that the king size comforter under it catches it well,
That the first time I saw you do one of those videos, I was like, what is he doing? Like, I'm just like, no. Like, then I realized that there was a comforter under it, but still I was like, man, like the anxiety buildup was crazy.
I told my wife, I said, you know what, if we get these phones, I'm gonna make use of it. And that was the first time I started creating videos and stuff because of the options that this phone had. And the options, that were new to me. But as I progressed, I just started realizing, like, gimmicks started turning into useful gimmicks, and then it started turning into tools. And then when I started flipping the phone, the durability tests, no case, and step after step, and I do construction, so no case. It's pretty scary when you can't find your phone because it's covered under a whole bunch of dust. And but yeah.
So with the dust, you've had no issues with the swivel mechanism?
No, none at all. No noise, no anything. Still has the same nice click to it. I can grab it. Still has the same.
Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth.
Yeah, nice.
That's the thing. A lot of people thought that was going to be the first thing to go out. People thought that was going to be the downfall of this phone. But
yeah,
in reality, there's really no downfall to this phone. It's still cracking along.
I find it. I'm glad you brought that up, because I found it pretty amusing when Samsung demonstrated their hinge test. And when I saw the commercial where they demonstrated their hinge test, they did a video of a whole bunch of folding at once with this mechanical arm moving it back and forth.
Right.
However, I do recall 2 years ago, LG Wing made a same one swiveling the mechanism inside it out. And I watched Jerry rig, uh, and he tore apart the wing, which gave me even more curiosity on how far I could take it. And you know, I just vinyl wrap it. You know, that's it. Just a vinyl wrap. And then this is the fixture, the bracket for the lenses.
So how did you even attach that? Like what, first of all, why did you like, where did this idea for the macro stuff come from?
I you know what? Everything is influenced by that iPhone. So when the iPhone was talking about the macro um, shots, and I was looking into lenses, and I was, you know, I was interested. I said maybe okay, scenery, maybe I could get closer and make use of the because it runs best on the 64 when I do videos, because videos on macro 64 is amazing, but I shoot 13 for still macros, which is even more perfect because I could manipulate it, change it up. But I saw some of the videos of these clip-on macros, and I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to be opening it, you know, to do, you know, because it shoots at 1080 when you open it.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to be swinging it open. However, I do like to have a full screen. You know, that's why I have a phone with no notch
Sure.
or anything. So I want a full screen. I don't want that thing just sitting there.
Understandable.
So I had an old projector, and it was looking at me, and I was looking at it. And, you know, you don't work anymore, so can I borrow some of your parts? And then an old JVC recorder. It's the old shoulder, put it on your shoulder type
Sure, sure.
thing with the VHS. So inside those things, they have about 4 lenses.
Okay, that makes sense.
And what I did was I just took all those, uh, pieced them together, found the best, you know, calibration, um, and just started taking apart the projector again for the housings.
Okay.
And then some of the housings, in fact, CJX2 has the housing for the JVC lenses, and then CJX1 has the housing for the projector. This tip right here is for it gets the light, you know, keeps that light from hitting, and I could take it off.
Okay.
Now this one I could, you know, I don't have to be up close. I could be about this far for this one.
Okay.
This back end is from the projector, I believe. They're both. I'm working with 2 JVC recorder devices and the projector.
Okay.
$70 projector. Um, this is from the JVC, and I attached an adjustable lens right here
Okay.
to do a in-depth calibration, and then I did a attachment to where I could adjust it manually this way, and then that thing I have a slider attached to it. So now to diffuse the lights from this is a McCormick peppercorn grinder adjuster. And if McCormick wouldn't have made it so curvy, okay, I wouldn't have used it. But it has a nice look to it.
That is nice. That
And
is nice.
it was weird as everything fit. So
That's some true like universal synergy there. That's not, that doesn't just happen.
yeah, and this, okay, the slider. Work, bear with me. Okay, so the slider is an old CD, where the CD drive.
Oh my God.
So I turned it sideways, and now it slides the
That's incredible.
hold on. So my light, this is my light bar. Oh, let's see. This is the light bar.
Okay.
Now I also have, you know, that light. But what's crazy is this. So whenever I turn the light up on the button, this fan came from the projector, cools my phone down while I'm taking shots.
The fact that you've like put this work in and made this really, really cool add-on. I appreciate the DIY-ness of it. I appreciate the using what you got aspects of it. Did you just glue on the attachment?
JB Weld, actually.
Oh, it is on there,
Uh,
on there. It's not coming off.
Yeah, it's not coming off. I actually grab it like this sometimes when I'm walking, but I grab it just by the housing. And what I did was this right here, this piece was poking out when I did the circle. So what I did was the lens cap for that JVC, I cut that piece and just put that half there. That way there's no light coming in.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, this is on here. I'm hoping I want to keep it this way, but if I do decide to 3D print this, it is going to be attached to a case. So it's going to be like the moment lenses.
Sure,
It's
sure,
gonna be
sure.
on there. But for now, all I do is just line up the green with the green, and I just
Man, you really thought of everything.
and it snaps right into place. I can take it right off, match the green to green. It's on there.
That's wild. That's wild. That's fantastic. Do the regular lenses still work? Like you still take normal photos and stuff?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it doesn't see the
Nope.
fantastic. Fantastic. That is some top tier modding, sir. I gotta give you a clap there. That is some top tier modding.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have any other questions about the LG Wing, please make sure you drop them in the comments. Anything I can field, I'm absolutely always happy to. I'm pushing at least another 6 months out of this until either the Pixel Fold or the Fold 5 comes out. We'll see what happens there. Maybe we could just convince them into bringing back the LG mobile section and just bringing us an LG Wing 2. Because all day, every day, I will get an LG Wing 2 over a Fold or a Pixel if they bring back the phone division. So, LG, ball's in your court. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.